An author, communicator, and consultant. She has a PhD with expertise in leadership, education, and crisis navigation. Her mission, Story Changer. She is the author of Walking Through Fire and is America's personal crisis navigator. She has the passion for helping people achieve their dreams, grow in their craft, and come out of adversity better, faster, and stronger. For over 30 years, she has developed leaders and organizational teams from around the world. Her leadership experience influences her approach to helping clients overcome obstacles aligned with their life purpose and walk in their highest call. She is highly sought after as a consultant and is a provider of continuing education and professional development, both live and online. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome on our show Dr. Lisa, PhD.
Thank you so much for that incredible introduction. That voice of yours is so amazing that it can make anybody look good. So thank you so much for telling everybody all the exciting work that I do. And coming from you, that is such an honor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lisa. Dr. Lisa, I've been trying to get you on hold, and thanks a lot for taking time in your busy schedule to come in and join in this show. Dr. Lisa, let me start with a very straightforward question. What is that unique in you that people sought out your service?
I think because I have been through so many different challenges in life and had to find a way to overcome them, that people know my life story and my experience means something. Because when you want someone's help, you want someone who has actually had something happen. If you want help building an organization, you want someone who's built an organization.
Absolutely.
If you want leadership training, you want someone who has been a leader in very challenging circumstances and they have a serious background in it.
Absolutely.
And as a personal crisis navigator, I certainly have been in situations where I've been in extreme crisis. As a leader, as an executive, as a high-profile person, that was extremely shocking what would happen to me when I was in those positions, because people who may have competitive businesses, competing agendas, I would feel like I was being set up and there were obstacles being put in my way. So now I can actually look back on that and look at it as a good thing. Because have you ever been in a situation, I know we have a lot of listeners that have been in a situation where you are in serious trouble, some type of crisis has happened. It could be an illness where you're dependent on medical personnel to help you.
Mm-hmm.
It could be where you need legal support, somebody that is an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
It could be an educator where you're struggling with making the right career goals, or you're struggling to learn something that you need for a trade.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything. It could be an executive where you need help with a situation in your business in order to get out of a crisis or to take your business to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to people when you're in those positions of needing serious help, and sometimes people look at it as an opportunity when they're supposed to be helping you. They may use it as an opportunity for their benefit, but never really actually help you through the situation so that you benefit from their service. And I mean, I've got so many personal examples of that now. I have a little Yorkie, a little dog that has been really, really sick for a couple weeks. And it's pancreatitis is what he has, severe pancreatitis. And obviously I can't do anything to help him. I have to rely on the veterinarians to do this. And so I took him to emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
$3,000 later, I get tests back that nobody knows how to read and nobody can tell me how to help. But yet they knew how to collect my money. And so then after all of that, I took him to his primary vet, only that person was not there, so a different vet helped. Thousands of dollars later, there was no solution for him. They weren't prescribing him the right way. They didn't have the skill set to read a test and diagnose it, to know how to read a sonogram, but yet they knew how to charge me to give a sonogram.
Mhm.
And that's just a simple example in life with a pet. Now, I apologize for that example for people who are not pet lovers, but those of us who are pet lovers know the burden and the desperation, because we want our pets healed. We come, especially like a sick child or an elderly parent, when we are caring for them and we are in serious need. But I found a gentleman that was a home veterinarian, and he came to the house on a Sunday evening. It was after 8 p.m. And he brought medicine. He showed me how to handle the situation. He explained to me that when my dog's getting sick, I need to keep fluids in him. He brought the medication. I had like a little hospital that I've been operating in my house for a couple weeks, because this veterinarian researched the situation. He had the skill set to read the tests. He got the treatments that he needed, and then he trained me in how to be able to help my pet. It's a dog. My dog's name is Shiloh, by the way. He's a little Yorkie.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if this is going to work, but I do know, and I don't know if he's going to be completely healed, but I do know he has improved. His health has improved. And this person is doing his best. He's researching. He's making contacts. He's getting the treatments. He's doing something about it. In the meantime, the amount of money that I'm paying for it is well worth it. It's not an exuberant amount of money. So in life, for some reason, our trust level with people that we need to help us, especially in situations of crisis, we just have lost trust, because people look at it as an opportunity for their own advancement instead of really using your life to help people. And so that's the way I would describe what I do and what I love to do, because I want to do my very best, whether I am used to consult, coach, communicate in a growth situation or in a crisis situation, no matter what. I want to give my very best, use my experience, use my knowledge, find out what the problems of my clients are, find out what their real needs are, and find a way to come alongside of them and help them to solve those problems and to reach their goals. That's my sincere hope that I do. And also, a lot of times it's important for people to see their problems as opportunities. We think that no matter what, we're always coming from a problem, going into a problem, or we just got out of a problem. No matter what, life is full of that. But we have to realize that there are actually opportunities for something positive to happen.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times I think we don't see it that way because they feel like burdens. There's tremendous weights on us. And I know a lot of people that are listeners today are in those situations. And so I have something that I developed in what people are calling me now is America's personal crisis navigator. Because when people are in a situation, utilizing my background to help them walk them through it so that there is good that comes out of bad.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Lisa, there would be a lot of people, thank you very much for sharing this, but there would be a lot of people who would like to be like who you are. The title that you just gave was America's Personal Crisis Navigator. Now, this was a new term for me. Let me tell you, it was absolutely a new term for me, because navigation for sure is something related to leadership, and navigation is something related to shipping, etc. So I was just putting myself, what is this personal crisis navigation and navigator? Thank you very much for explaining. There would be a lot of people who would like to get into the same career or the same path that you are following right now. They would like to follow you. What would be your recommendation? How would you like to take them?
Well, if you want to get into personal crisis navigation, you have to have walked through personal crisis. So I don't know if you want that job, but essentially, as a consultant, finding somebody's unique issues or challenges that they're facing, and then walking through with them. Sometimes it involves mentoring. Sometimes it involves coaching. Sometimes it's called consulting. You know, I know one family that I'm working with right now, the situation is they have a son that has a heroin addiction. And in many of you all that are listening now, you have had somebody that has abused substances or have become addicted to substances, and it's created a lot of chaos in the family. And so with this particular family, they've run out of options. They've lost thousands and thousands of dollars, well over 6 figures, in trying to resolve this. They've tried everything in the world. So I have investigated and found strategies, you know, outside of the box methods where I can work with the family so that there's hope, there's a strategy in place so that the person addicted realizes they have an option of either treatment or incarceration, because we don't want the option to be death.
Absolutely.
And so that's one example of one type of severe situation. And there's sometimes that it's simple things, people struggling with, you know, finding vision in their lives, and they're looking to, you know, for their purpose and their call. And, you know, one of the things that I enjoy so much is all the different types of people I get to work with across the world. And like what we're doing right now, you're in India and I'm in America, and we're able to talk and communicate just as clear as anything. So I'm loving this, the opportunity to get to know people and just to really give as much as of myself and my expertise. And what I don't know everything, but what I don't know, I can find out.
Wow. Great. You just used the word vision. Would you like to expand more about vision, purpose, mission, and values? I repeat, vision, mission, purpose, and values. How important is that for an individual?
Well, vision, there's a scripture that says, without vision, people perish. And vision is something that you have to really know yourself, know what your call is, know what your purpose is, and then to be positioned to see hope and what direction you have for your life. And sometimes the full vision is not revealed to you. You might only have a piece. And one of the things that we're trained to do if anybody out there wants to be a coach, a trained coach, one of the things that you learn how to do is listen well to people and ask questions so that their vision can be clarified. And that's one of the advantages. Everybody should have some type of coach or a really good friend who has the skills of asking good questions, so that because a lot of times we all have blind spots. There are things that we don't see that we need to be able to see. And a question will bring that from the subconscious into self-awareness. We will begin to become aware of things we're not aware of when someone asks us a question. And that's the art of having a good coach.
Wow. Let's say that you have been asked to coach a person. Let's say he's an executive. And when you went to coach this person, he has got the attitude as if he knows everything. For sure, he must be having a blind spot. but he has got the attitude that he knows everything. I'm everything. Why is Dr. Lisa here to coach me? If that is the situation, let's say that I'm that person, what would you start with? How would you convince me that there is a blind spot in me?
Well, if someone thinks they know everything, there's no convincing. That wouldn't be the right person to coach, because you want to have someone who wants improvement in their life. Not everybody is interested in personal growth and personal development. So the best clients for people like us, the best people for us to work with, are the people who intend to grow. So, I'm not going to spend time convincing anybody that they need to grow, because if you don't know that, then we're there for the people who already know. I need to always be, nobody ever arrives. Whoever that is, I've got news for you. None of us ever arrive. We're always in the process of growth and development. We have to accept that we need one another, and that we need to reach out to people who are smarter than us, who have had different experiences. I love to get to meet different people from across the world, and people who are completely different from me and my lifestyle and my belief system and everything else, because that's where I grow the most. I don't like to have people exactly like me around me. I like to learn from people who have see a different point of view in the world. I don't always adopt their views. I don't substitute anybody else's judgment for my own, but I do consider everyone else's point of view, and that's where a lot of growth comes.
Wow. Dr. Lisa, you are very much closely associated with John Maxwell and Les Brown.
Yes.
Share that with us, please.
Well, John Maxwell was my personal mentor. I had the benefit of being with him in a program called Exchange back in the early 2000s, and there were 49 of us that were with him for 3 days. This is when he lived in Atlanta, and I got to go to his home and just see how he studies, how he prepares, his way of filing, his way of thinking, being with him. And then the other great thing about John is he has all these incredible people around him that you get to meet. He is a spiritual father to me, and I am so grateful. He's been in my life for 3 decades now, and I became he ended up buying all the rights back to his books and all of his property. He's written probably over 100 books, I guess. And so those books that were published by other people, he bought back the rights to those, and he developed a speaking and coaching company. And I became one of those certified coaches later on. And that's just an example of what I think we're always supposed to do. Number one, surround ourselves with people a lot smarter than us. And I went through a season of my life. I know a lot of you have experienced this. I went through a season of my life when I really just did not know what direction I was going to go. And so what I did was I looked back and I thought, what do I have left? What are the good things that are remaining in my life? And I'm going to start from there, and I'm going to walk forward. And one of those things was John. He had in his teachings and his mentorship. I remember one time I was in a training of his, and he was a speaker. And he came down off the platform. I was sitting in the front row, and he knew me, or at least he pretended he did. And he sat next to me and began to speak life into me and say, Lisa, you can do this. You're actually better at this than I am. And he began to, and it totally dumbfounded me. I was just so struck with it. But I knew that he was taking those 10 minutes sitting next to me, pouring life into me. He was going to invest. He wasn't going to stay on the stage and drink at the time. I think he was drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper at the time. His drink of choice now is Coke Zero. But back then, it was a Diet Dr. Pepper. And I remember him taking that moment, and that's what I try to do now. I think about that. And Les Brown has been a really strong influence in my life as far as motivational speaking. I love the way that he conveys his life story, and he does it in such a powerful way. And so I like to hang around less and listen to less as much as possible. But those are two of my favorite people in life. And I try to, they're both in their 70s now.
Yep.
And so I'm so grateful. And my other strong mentor is a Pastor Darlene Bishop. She's my spiritual mother, and she's in her 70s too.
Really?
And yeah, it's incredible. When I first started out as a young person, I was in ministry. I was a missionary, and I grew up in I don't know if you're familiar with a Southern Baptist religion. Have you ever heard of Southern Baptist? And they, back in the day, and they really haven't changed that much, where they didn't believe in women communicators. You were allowed to teach a Sunday school class or different things, but I ended up being in the ministry where I was an actual communicator, like a preacher. And so that was not looked on very favorably. And that happened in my early life. I was like 19 years old. And so I ended up visiting a church and seeing Darlene Bishop come out and minister. And I remember being shocked, thinking, oh, that's so nice that they're letting her say something, not to realize that she was a co-pastor with her husband. So it was really phenomenal. And I am thankful for all of the wonderful mentors that the Lord has put in my life. Those are three of my key ones. And but I still strive to be around good people like you. I have enjoyed our time together and getting to know each other through these different venues. I really work hard to connect and find good. We only have so much time in our lives, and we need to really make the effort of making sure our inner circles are filled with real high quality people that are focused in doing something great with their lives and helping one another to do something great. You know, the people that I want around me are not people who are jealous or trying to pull me down. I want people who want my good, and I want their good. And I'm going to contribute what I can to see them achieve their dreams, to align with their purpose, and just to fulfill whatever those goals and aspirations are. That just makes me feel so good when I see someone else accomplish their goals.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Dr. Lisa, it's not possible for everyone to catch hold of you. So there are people like you who come up with something called the books. What is your book?
Well, the books back in my day were all directed towards education and leadership, but I use them for training now, so I don't make those available because I use them for my training. But my book right now is called Walking Through Fire, Overcoming Life's Worst Circumstances.
Okay.
And this is a testament of my personal experience, but it's for everybody out there that understands when you are in a very challenging, overwhelming circumstance in life, there are so many different things happen. The way you're thinking, the way you're feeling, the relationships around you. There's so many different effects. And that book is about how to walk through fire so that you come out not smelling of smoke. You come out where nobody even recognizes that you went through anything other than the fact that you are elevated to such another level. You have been refined as pure gold, and you are able to be utilized, and your gifts have just risen to the top because of the circumstances. As I say, good comes out of the bad.
Absolutely.
Beauty for ashes.
How would you like to be known?
Well, to put it simple, I just want to be known as somebody who helps people. But professionally as Dr. Lisa, I'm being known as America's personal crisis navigator these days. And I'm welcoming that title. I don't know of anyone else doing this and that's in this space. But my reason for doing this is because I really want to help people. I want to help them through struggle, but not just through. I want them to be better, faster, and stronger from their circumstance, and I believe they can.
Wow. What are the 3 things that you are grateful for?
Oh, wow. I am grateful for the amazing surprises that God has done in my life. One of the things you wouldn't believe is I recently was reunited with my natural mother.
Really?
That I did.
After how many years was that?
Well, I just turned 50 last December. And my dad, my parents that raised me, I lived most of my life without a mother because my mother that raised me was ill. And my dad that raised me, he was not my biological dad, but we never did talk about that much. Or never, let's just say that, never did we talk about it. And before he passed away, he told me about how my life began, and he gave me a mission to find my natural mother. And she was a young girl. I was born into circumstances that were really, really terrible for her and the entire family around. And so therefore they did right by me by allowing people who could take care of me to adopt me and raise me. But my dad in his last days was thinking about her and thinking about it, and he gave me the mission, find her and let her know we appreciate the gift she gave us. You were a miracle. And I'm telling you, that was a gift to me to hear my dad say that. But I didn't know what I didn't really know what all of that meant or how that was going to turn out, but you wouldn't believe. So really, it's just been a few months since I met my mother. I found her really quickly, and it was incredible just to find this whole new surprise about this whole family that's been praying for me for 50 years. So that's one thing I'm grateful for, those kind of surprises, to know the hand of God's always been on my life and the evidence of it in a tangible way to be able to manifest. So that's one thing. I'm thankful for God's guidance and directing me and giving me that inner fire that He's given me to, no matter what, overcome adversity, because I've had a lot of it. I've had my share of adversity, and there are times that I didn't know I was really going to survive it. And I know a lot of you listening have felt like that.
Absolutely.
But just know that those of you who are listening, no matter what it is, just have that determined spirit and hook up with people who can support you through it, because that inner fire is going to get you through. So did I say 3 things?
No, you said only 2. There's one more left.
Okay, one more. I'm going to say that being able to look for great things ahead, if without vision and without knowing, just the opportunity to live an abundant life. I want my life to be big. I don't know about you all, but I didn't go through everything I went through for nothing. And I am thankful for the promises of God and the opportunity to know that I can live that abundant life, and that, I guess I will say, His guidance in finding what that life is. So what do you think about those answers?
Absolutely. Very strong. And I really thank you, because you shared your personal story with us. Though I know you, this is the first time I'm hearing that from you.
And I've really not shared that personal story about my family because I wanted to. My mom just met me. She knew, and there was a lot of challenges there to be able to get her to get used to the idea. I mean, I know getting her to get used to the idea that her daughter is Lisa was not that hard, and it was wonderful. But to get used to the idea that her daughter is Dr. Lisa is a whole nother thing.
Absolutely.
And that I don't know, how that would make a mother feel. That, especially that being a high profile person and in that situation, and how the world can be. So I was concerned for her. So I really have not shared that. And really a lot of that is her story to share. What she wants to share. My story is, my dad gave me this information, and I found my natural mother, and she's an incredible woman, and this is exciting. And then there's this whole family attached to it. So that's my part of the story. The other part is her story, and so I want to be sensitive to that because that's for her to share.
Exactly correct. Exactly. Dr. Lisa, what is that you would like to share with the audience? There's an audience from different parts of the world. So keeping that in mind, what would you like to share with them from your experience? Because you have gone up and down in your life. So what is that would be beneficial for them? There could be people who are going through the same situation that you have been through. There could be somebody who are just getting into their life right now. There could be young adults. What is that you would like to say? There could also be people who are in the ditch, in the deep side of their life, and they want to get up from there. They want to see the light in front of their life. What is that you could give to them today?
No matter what, remember, joy always comes in the morning, and try not to work so hard getting yourself out of a problem or thinking about how you just want to get out of a bad circumstance. While you're there, while you're in the middle of it, get the most you can from it so that you are refined and strengthened, and just know that God thinks good things of you. You're not being punished. Nobody's targeting you because you did anything wrong or you weren't born into the right culture, ethnicity, family. Your circumstances in life are because we're all part of this world, and we all are going to have problems. But I want to just encourage you to know that it's not going to be forever.
Yep.
And if you can use those problems, allow them to transform you and to renew your mind in such a way that you become, your perspective allows you to understand that it's about your purpose and that it's about you being positioned to work in a stronger, more powerful position.
Yep.
That's really the key. And I just want to encourage you and let you know that I am here for you. No matter where you are in the world, you see that we're able to talk.
Yep.
You can find me on social media, and you can find me on www.personalcrisisnavigation.com. And just, I am thankful for all the different people that have already reached out, and sometimes I just want to hear what your stories are because you inspire me, and I love those opportunities to be able to share in that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lisa. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lisa.